Hey guys, this is Xboxduelist here. Today I'm making you a Champion of Justice melee healer guide for the Ascension Project Season 7, a LAR server. Gonna try and make this video fast. I just finished recording another version of it and it was about 30 minutes long. I think that's a bit long for what people want to watch, so I'm gonna really try and condense this. So with that being said, we're gonna jump straight into this. Let's see here. So your main stat on this character is strength. You are a strength healer. You are wheeling and dealing. You are doing damage and healing. It's great. It's very, very enjoyable. Your initial rolls that you want to get for this character are Seal of Righteousness, Judgment of Light, Holy Light, and Battle Shout. You do not want to get Blessing of Might. Blessing of Might does not work with Sanctuary and Kings, but if you have Battle Shout, you can have Kings and Sanctuary and King and Battle Shout on yourself at once, supplied only by you. So that's really important to know. Abilities that you need to get are Crusader Strike, Circle of Healing, uh, Blink or Berserker Rage, Ice Block or Divine Shield or Bubble. You need to get Consecration. You need to get Divine Storm. You need to get Flash of Light, and you need to get Exorcism. You could go with a one-button spec, like Healing Touch or something like that, um, or some other even like a Holy Light spec with Beacon. But the thing is, this build's got a big shopping list. It's fun, it's very rewarding, and it pays off tenfold in the end. But it's got a big shopping list, so keep that in mind. Some abilities that you want to get are Beacon of Light, Kings, Blessing of Sanctuary, True Shot Aura, or Aspect of the Beast, or even Hammer of the Righteousness, as long as you have Holy Nova with it. And you can run the Pious Strikes random enchant with that and get some bonus healing. The random enchants you get are it's the Champion of Justice. That's the whole reason this thing works. You do melee attacks with Judgment or Crusader Strike. You increase your healing power by 10% of your strength for 15 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. This buff is called Serving Justice. Whenever stacked, effectively healing an ally. Now, what this doesn't say is they have to be below a certain amount of health. I think it's 75%. They might have changed it, but right now I think it's 75% health. So once they drop below 75% health, this is when you start to pop off on your healing. So let's say you're in a raid group and you've got healers that are crushing it and nobody's dropping below 75% health. You're a DPS. No one drops below 75% health. You're pretty much DPS. Um, when fully stacked, effectively healing an ally triggers a bonus heal and adorns them for 15 seconds. Adorns for 15 seconds doesn't really mean that much because I think the legendary is working differently than it is said different than what the tooltip says, which Ascension guys, do not change it. If you change it to the way that this text says it works, you'll break the build and it won't work. Right now, whenever you adorn, um, so you get your 3 stacks of Serving Justice from your Judgments and Crusader Strikes. If you heal somebody below 75% health, they get a big bonus heal. And your melee attacks, every melee attack you do, doesn't have to be a paladin one, every melee attack you do now heals everyone in your dungeon or raid group. Everyone. And it's not limited by your party that you're in or the group you're in the raid group. Everyone. If you're in a 100-man raid group, which I know is not a thing, but I'm just saying it to get the point across. If you're in a 100-man raid group and you just spent your 3-stack buff on healing somebody below 75% health, for the next 15 seconds, your Judgments and your Crusader Strikes and all of your melee attacks, everything, not even just Paladin ones, heal every single one of those 100 people. Every single one gets healed. It is so good for raid healing, and it is so fun, and it is so strong, and it is so strong, and it is consistently strong. It's amazing. I really, 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 really enjoy it. It does not proc. That group heal doesn't activate off of auto attacks though, so you've got to be hitting. Um, so with that being said, and that champion, the 3 stacks that you can then trigger off of healing somebody below 75% health, that can trigger off of AoE heals like your instant cast Circle of Healing. So if your group's getting low and you got your 3 stacks of Serving Justice from using Crusader Strikes and Judgments of Light, or Judgments, you hit your Circle of Healing, everybody gets a big heal. It's very, very good. Um, I really like it. Circle of Healing feels like it was designed for this. Um, so yeah, that's with that. Now I could go into detail about a lot of other things, but I got to keep this video short, so we're gonna keep moving. Consecration, again, it's the idea of this build is the idea of taking your paladin abilities and making them also do damage, making them heal while they do damage. Holy Ground is a natural choice. Ward of Light, I feel like Ward of Light is, some people look at this and they're like, oh, well, it just increases Divine Storm damage. Surely there's something better. The thing is, Ward of Light works as it helps you counter raid-wide damage, because if you have Divine Storm on cooldown, Divine Storm already has a heal built into it, and Divine Storm triggers your healing from Champion of Justice. If you take AoE damage, Ward of Light has a chance, it's a very strong chance, to reset your Divine Storm cooldown. So literally, as damage starts to increase, your healing output increases because you're getting more free Divine Storms. So if you see what I'm getting at, raid-wide damage goes out, you get free heals for everybody. So keep that in mind, it's really good. Field Surgeon, where you're in melee, you heal all of the melee people around you on the boss for an extra 5%. Whatever you heal them for, you get a free 5% heal, whatever that heal was, on them. Works with Consecration, works with everything. It's really nice. Um, Healing Light. Healing Light just increases your Flash of Light heals. Divine Aegis, it increases your Divine Aegis talent, which we'll talk about in a second. Vanquishing Storm increases the healing of your Divine Storm, which is really important. Precision, I think Precision's really good for everything. Sanctity of Battle just increases damage. Crusade just increases damage. So nothing super fancy there. Gear, you want to get strength plus int gear, or just strength gear if necessary. Strength supersedes int, but you want to get int, so like a lot of paladin gear is really good for you, a lot of warrior gear is really good for you because you want that strength and int. A tier set I would bring attention to is the Lawbringer set. The 3 set of Lawbringer increases the chance of triggering a Judgment of Light heal by 10%. For those of you who aren't familiar, Judgment of Light is one of your main abilities for this build, and it causes people who hit the target to heal for free. So you're sitting here, you're putting a debuff on the target that causes everyone to hit him to heal. So I don't think I need to explain how awesome that is. It's free healing that comes out while you're doing damage. Again, that's the whole shtick of this build. You do damage, your boys, your girls, everybody is getting topped up. Everyone's getting healed. So that's really important. Yeah, aside from that, Strength Int, that's really important. Lawbringer 3 set. I don't know too much about other sets right now, but that's the one that's really stuck out to me after a brief review of gear in this server. Talents that are really important. We're going to go through this one kind of quick. So we go to Paladin, Healing Light. There's a lot of just raw holy healing ability talents through Paladin and Priest trees. But this is just what I take, and this is what I think is required for the build to work. If you put more talents into healing, you're losing damage, so it just depends on what you want and what you need. Healing Light, really important. Divine Strength, I think it's really important because it gives you extra hit rating. Blessing of Sanctuary, that's nice. Touch by the Light is really important because it gives your Exorcism and Hammers of Wrath a better chance to hit, but also it increases the amount healed by your holy criticals, which, as you're going to find out, is going to be a lot of your healing. You're going to get a lot of crits. This buffs those by 15%, so that's really important. Improve Judgments, you want to reduce the cooldown of Judgment because you want to get out more Judgments to build up your Serving Justice stacks to get big healing. That's really important. I like Heart of the Crusader, it does extra damage. Sanctity Battle is really important because every time you Exorcism, you either give your Hammer of Wrath a lot of bonus damage or you give your Flash of Light a lot of bonus healing. So it's a guaranteed critical strike. So as we said here, boom, 15% bonus critical healing. This is a guaranteed critical strike. And Art of War gives you guaranteed instant casts. So if you pace yourself right and you hard cast Exorcisms and then wait for the free instant casts to come from Art of War for your Flashes of Light, guess what? Because you hard cast that Exorcism, you now get a guaranteed critical instant cast on your Flash of Light. That does 15% bonus healing. And thanks to the next talent I'm about to show you, Sheath of Light puts a heal over time effect on the target. So your Flashes of Light, guaranteed critical strike, guaranteed instant cast, and puts a hot. Gives you a heal over time on the target. Really nice. Judgments of the Wise, you need mana. So this is where you get it from. aside from the legendary. Really important. Sanctified Wrath reduces the cooldown of Exorcism, which you need. You need Sanctified Wrath for this build. Sheath of Light, already talked about that, and the rest of these are DPS. You really want to get Divine Storm. So now we're going to go to the Priest Tree. Discipline. Your holy healing criticals create a protective shield on the target for 10 seconds, absorbing 26% of the amount healed. So, what I'm telling you is that with this build, your flashes of light become instant cast, get critical healing, guaranteed critical healing, get bonus critical healing, get passive heal over time effects from your flash of light, and now also they apply a shielding. They apply a shield to the target for 26% of the amount healed, just from instant cast flashes of light. So, just from you fighting, you're getting to do this to your tank, to whoever's getting hit. It's really great. So there's that. Holy, you take Circle of Healing. I took Desperate Prayer because I don't think you can't proc Adorned. Adorned being the bonus heal from your 3 stacks of Serving Justice from the legendary RE on yourself. So if you're in trouble, Desperate Prayer is really nice. Granted, you can do a lot of self-healing with your guaranteed critical striking flash of lights on yourself as long as you play it right, but Desperate Prayer is really nice. It's just a little bit of a thing to save you. But that's it for the talents. Macros. So for macros, we need... you want target-to-target macros. So what this does, this lets you keep doing damage while healing the target of your target. So I'm hitting a boss, the boss is hitting the tank. With these macros, you do not need to click on your tank to heal him or put Beacon of Light on him or put whatever you got to put on him. This lets you seamlessly hit the target while healing the guy that the target is hitting. So this lets you heal tanks without changing buttons, without changing targets at all. It's very nice. Or whoever they're hitting. Let's say they're not on the tank and they just decided to hit a DPS for some reason. Guess what? You can now protect them because your macros are automatically targeting the correct person for you. You also want to have some player macros to target yourself instantly. So again, you don't have to change targets. It just makes it really simple. At player for targeting yourself, or at target. It's literally at target, and it'll target the person that is being targeted by your person you're hitting. So it's really nice. Be aware, some characters in classic WoW break targeting. Not characters, but for instance, I'm referring to, as an example, I'm sure there's other ones, but the ghouls, or the big abominations at the end of Stratholme when you go to fight Rivendare, when they start casting their bile ability, they will stop targeting anything. They won't have anything targeted. They will be hitting the tank and then they'll stop and start casting an AoE ability. They don't have anything targeted while they do that. In the code, they stop targeting. So these macros stop working. So you've got to be on your feet and be aware of it's just weird coding from way back when. So you've got to be ready for that. Just as an advisory for you. I've only seen it on those abominations on Rivendare, but it could be more. I just haven't encountered it yet. But that's it for target-to-target macros. So for your playstyle, I'll show you what I mean when I say that. But as your tank pulls, you want to exorcism. So my guy's about to pull. So you exorcism. So I just exorcismed. I have my critical strike on my flash of light, and now I dive in, and I just got my instant cast on flash of light. So I just lost my exorcism buff. So I just got it again, but it consumed my Art of War. So if you're careful, you can spam critical striking instant flashes of light. You just got to kind of weave yourself, because you get your exorcism and then you get your Art of War proc, which should be coming up here in a second. So you hardcast exorcism, then you get Art of War. Now for the next 5 seconds I have an instant critically striking flash of light, which I'm at full health, so it's not going to do certain things. It's not going to get an absorb shield, and it's also not going to proc Adorned from Serving Justice. So got to be aware of that. But as your tank pulls, you exorcism, so you have that healing ready to go. You hit your Crusader Strike, you hit your Judgment of Light. You heal the tank as needed with Flash of Light or even Holy Light if they take a lot of damage. Consecrate on cooldown, Divine Storm on cooldown. Use Circle of Healing to do AoE healing. Your Circle of Healing will proc your Legendary, so if somebody's low, you don't need to retarget them, just hit Circle of Healing and it'll do the rest. Your Legendary will top them up. It's really nice. Divine Storm on cooldown, like I said. So we're getting to the end of the video here. So some strengths of this build. You have endless and very strong AoE healing in boss fights. So literally on a boss fight, as long as you're getting to heal people, as long as they're getting healed below 75% health. And the nice thing is, guys, with Judgment of Light, Consecration, and a lot of the passive healing you have, you're adorned. That adorned heal, the free bonus healing from having 3 stacks of Serving Justice, which just gets generated from melee attacks, will sometimes just automatically go off. Because you got to think about it, you have Consecration, you have Judgment of Light heals going out, you have Flashes of Light, you have Circle of Healing. Sometimes your Adorn's just randomly going to go off, and you're now AoE healing everybody with your melee attacks. Because again, in that buff, you can proc your Adorned and consume your 3 stacks while that big AoE healing buff is on you. Because again, that buff, once you consume it, your melee attacks, every single melee attack heals your entire group, your entire raid. And you can restack your Serving Justice, the Crusader Strike, and Judgment of Light stacks. This guy, the dealing damage to Judgment Crusader Strike increases your holy healing power, 10% of your strength for 15 seconds. That you can restack that while you're AoE healing and you still have that buff. So you can stay in that huge, massive AoE healing state forever. Forever. As long as there's healing to be done, you will stay in it, and it's great. AoE healing is really strong. Your single target healing with Flash of Light is really nice. And that's why, and you take Holy Light for big damage on your tank. That's why you take it. So if your tank's taking too much damage, you hit Holy Light, no problem. From there, chain pulling. This class does really well with chain pulling. So like fast Mythic pluses, it really thrives in. It's really a momentum-based healer. Also, depending on the needs of your group, you can instead of using your exorcisms on Flashes of Light, you can use them on Hammers of Wrath and do more damage. So you can adapt your DPS based on the needs of the group, and do really good damage while you're at it. The weakness, CC, you can get hit by crowd control, and that can kind of hurt the build. That's why you take certain abilities like Ice Block and Blink. The community is really toxic toward this build. I've been booted from groups, a lot of groups actually, instantly, like before we've even done the first pull of the dungeon for announcing that I'm a strength healer. They do not ask questions. They don't care what it is. You say strength healer and they're instantly like, lol, get this guy out of here. For a classless custom server that lets you play anything, it's really disappointing. For a completely the community arbitrarily gatekeeps metas on 15-year-old content. So take from that what you will, but I've encountered that a lot, and it's pretty bad. Weak tanks that parade as 2-hand parry tanks that are really just DPS with a 2-hand sword on, queuing as tanks in dungeons. Those are not fun to heal in this, because the more times you have to hit Holy Light, the more you're going to ruin your mana. And it's just hard in dungeons when you've got big pauses in between pulls, and that's a problem you'll run into. But as long as the time in between pulls is short, you could do an entire dungeon without stopping with this build. You never have to stop. It just depends on what's going on with the group. But final word, while difficult to play in dungeons as compared to one-button healers, this build provides supplemental damage and excels in raid healing. This build can do the work of 2 healers while having a full mana bar and doing damage. So with that being said, I really think that this could be a very, 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 very good Mythic Plus healer due to its supplemental damage. You just need a tank that's not terrible, and you'll be fine. Also, this healing, this build does a lot of raid-wide healing, enough to where I'm concerned it will get nerfed. In my experience, it's very strong. As long as there is damage going out, your healing will go up and up and up and up. It's very enjoyable. On Major Domo, I did about 3k HPS on a Major Domo fight, and I'm convinced I could have single healed it for a 25-man group. I mean, it's insane how hard it heals. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. We're just under 20 minutes, so I think that's going to be just enough for the video. But yeah, thanks. Check out the Twitch. I'm not streaming right now, but I will be again. Check out my Discord, all that good stuff at Xboxduelist. See you guys.